Hong Kong. I'm your host, Mohammed Magdi, and I'm sitting with the other host,
Vivek Mabubani.
How are you doing, buddy?
I'm very good, man. Oof, we just had our crazy back-to-back sold-out shows with
Oh
you
my
guys.
God, the festival is kicking off to a great start.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
it?
yeah. Oh, Cantonese shows, English shows. I was like, oh, what language now?
So if you're listening at the beginning of the week, we just this past weekend we had two shows back to back sold out, 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. on Saturday. And 7 p.m. was a Cantonese show. There was also a bunch of, it was mixed. It wasn't just stand-up, right?
Yeah, they had some improv as well because it was our opening gala show for the Laugh Festival, and the idea is to give people a sampler of all the different shows available and what
Right.
type of comedy there is basically in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So just a diverse range
So
of
what's
stuff.
the plan? Tell me a little bit about the Laugh Festival.
So the Laugh Festival initially started with the idea of just mimicking what we experienced in Melbourne for the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. We're like, wow, it's so cool just having 1 hour shows, having your own show, and just having a whole day after day of shows. So we started that in 2017, just Cantonese for 1 week, gave it a shot. I'm like, hey, this is pretty fun. 2018, we did it again, and we extended to 2 weeks. And 2019, we did a whole month where it was like just 50-50 English and Cantonese
Wow.
shows. Yeah, that was really intensely crazy. I'm like, in Hong Kong, we did 30 days of every single night.
And you had
something
different
happened.
venues all over town?
We had mostly one venue in Wan Chai, this place in Mallory Street.
Oh yeah, I remember it because I was judging, I think, the roast or something like that.
Yeah, you were there as well. So that room, so we basically made it our place. So you just had that space that, okay, whatever show during whatever time, we can make it happen over there.
Yeah.
We brought all the equipment. And it was just cool because it also forces you as a performer
Yeah.
to finally say, hey, it's a festival time. I better put an hour together.
Yes, yeah.
You know, so you have a goal to work towards rather than like, oh, I'll just do a set again. I got my good 7 minutes. It's good enough. So there's some that kind of encouragement as well to motivate everyone to promote.
Nice.
Yeah.
What's the plan for this week? How do people follow the festival?
The easiest way, just go to laughfestival.hk. You'll see a whole string of shows happening. Actually, tonight, Monday night, I'm actually running a Zoom comedy workshop in Cantonese, though.
Ooh.
Yeah, because I didn't want to pay rent. Just said, let's do it online. Easier, right? Save some
Yeah.
money over there. So we got that. Tuesday night, we got open mics as usual. We're
Nice,
encouraging
yeah.
people to go English and Cantonese. So you got English in Aftermath, Cantonese over in Bar 109 on Lockhart Road.
Yeah.
Wednesday night, we have a whole day of shows because it's the holiday after Lantern Festival.
Oh, right. Is it 22nd, I think?
22nd, yeah. So we got a whole bunch of shows there, and at night we got the Bushy Roast.
Nice.
The English
Where's
roast.
that?
That's gonna be in Wan Chai at that Mallory Street venue.
Right.
Yeah. So Wan Chai, in that space, you have the English show of the night, which is the Bushy Roast, which is our annual roast that we always have at the festival.
Yeah.
And that's when basically the harshest of harsh lines come out.
Yeah.
Right? Everyone's rude to each other.
Yeah.
Thursday night, I'm doing a Facebook Live show. Because again, save rent.
I mean, that's the theme of this year or last year as well,
Yeah.
right? Just save rent.
Save rent and also prevent losing your deposit. Because if COVID hits, I'm like, I'm fine. I'm stuck at
yeah.
home. I can still do this.
Yeah. The worst you'd lose is like your Facebook account or
Exactly.
something.
Something like that, or maybe
Yeah.
2 followers are like, this guy lied.
Yeah.
Right? Friday, Saturday, we got our Coffee Academics shows. Basically, we're going to do a show in Coffee Academics in Wan Chai.
Ooh.
Yeah, basically.
Do they have a venue?
They have a venue, yeah. Well, they have a space that's their
Right.
restaurant.
You know, back in Shanghai, we did something similar. Maple Joe, one of the Chinese comedians,
Yeah.
she somehow convinced a Starbucks right downtown that they have like an attic upstairs. She's like,
Yeah.
"Can I take that over and do shows?" They're like, "Sure, I
Yeah.
guess." They had no idea. She's
Yeah.
like, "Can we?" They're like, "Can we sell coffee?" She's like, "Do you have alcohol?"
Yeah,
They go,
yeah.
"No, we're a Starbucks." She's like, "You should sell alcohol."
Yeah,
And one
yeah.
of the Starbucks staff. After his shift, he would just go downstairs and buy alcohol from like 7-Eleven and go
bring it
sell it
up.
upstairs.
So smart. He's making more money by the hour.
Exactly. They're making money at the Starbucks where they work totally illegally, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. And then, who cares, man?
Yeah,
People
who
are
cares?
laughing. Even the cops come in like, hey, this is pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, we got that. And then, on Sunday, we have our final shows, which is the competition, the Cantonese competition for
Ooh.
newcomers.
Yeah.
So you have to have less than 3 years experience in
Yeah.
comedy. Otherwise, you're not allowed to join. We don't just let, people who've done
It's
10
just
years.
one night.
Yeah, just one night.
Nice.
We have the preliminaries on Wednesday, but that's the finals, and we close it up over there.
Nice.
Yeah, so a
That's
whole bunch of
awesome.
shows. Yeah, so just laughfestival.hk is where you want to be checking the stuff out. And if not, if you can understand Cantonese, there's a whole bunch of shows. If you only understand English, Bushy Roast.
Nice.
On
And
Wednesday
where do
night.
people find you online?
You can find me at Funny Vivek with the letter M without a letter M. Try, it's both me. And yourself?
Speaking of the letter M, I am Muhammad, the other Muhammad. So
Yeah.
there is how many M's are is on the other Muhammad?
I think you got 3, right?
Mohamm. Yeah, it's 3.
Yeah.
That's it. It's
Hey,
not
look,
that.
Look
Yeah.
at me guessing right.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
anticlimactic right now.
But we are nothing compared to our guest today.
Oh man, this is so exciting. So just a little backstory. I've been trying to pin down this guy for months, not physically because that's kind of hard to do, but just to get him to come on the podcast. He's getting super busy. He's getting huge huge right now. And I think if you have been in Hong Kong for the last year and you're especially local, you probably have heard of this guy. We have Jordan Leung, everybody, the online sensation 69 Ranch. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good.
Yeah, look at us hyping it. We hyped the hell out of you. You're like, I'm okay.
What's up, guys?
You sound like I'm like your mom and I'm waking you up.
I know.
You know, like when your mom comes, open the windows, like, it's morning. You're like, ugh.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. We're very excited to have you. I wanted to talk to you about a bunch of things. Clearly, you kind of blew up in the last year. And I think I want to get into that a bit. But also, you have an interesting story originally because you didn't even start stand-up in Hong Kong.
No, I didn't. I started
Right?
in New
But
York,
you grew
yeah.
up in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
And you went to an international school.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about your background?
I don't know. I guess kind of that. What you just said. I mean, I grew up in Hong Kong, so I lived here until I was like 15. And that's when I moved to the U.S. And then I went to high school and university there. So I think
What did you study?
What or where?
What?
What? I studied statistics.
What? Really?
Yes,
Statistics?
Yeah. I don't know if people knew that. Yeah, I think some people know that, but yeah, I studied statistics. And,
What do they teach in statistics? Like the chance of you passing?
Yeah.
I just let you know, half this class is gonna fail.
You just gotta calculate your probability. It's a lot of proofs and shit, and theorems, and some
So do you
some,
get
computing
nightmares
stuff as well.
when
yeah.
you look at bar charts and the graphs? Does that annoy you now?
Not really. I actually like the simple stuff. So the statistics 101 stuff, I like that stuff.
Yeah.
But the stuff that's too deep, that's too abstract.
Is there an example? I'm just really curious. Statistics doesn't seem like a
Yeah,
certificate.
all I know
course.
is Excel, I guess.
Yeah.
Is Excel statistics?
The only statistics
It's
I know
huge,
is
yeah.
did we sell out tonight? That's all.
How much do we make? Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was just
Do you remember the most fascinating statistics thing that you learned? They tell you, hey, check this out. If we flip it this way, it's the other thing. You're like, whoa.
I think a lot of the I don't know, man. The chance stuff probability if you have 30 people in a room or something, it's very likely that at least 2 people will have the same birthday.
Oh,
Stuff like
okay.
that. It's much higher than you think
So
it
it's
is.
basic trivia bar talk. So actually.
Yeah, it's sort of like that, but it's if you actually calculate the probabilities, it's oh, I see why it's much more likely than I think it would be.
Wow.
Well,
So-
here's a question since you're the experts right now among the three of us in
Yeah.
statistics.
Oh my God.
How likely is it if you're staying in Hong Kong to get COVID?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get.
That's a complicated one.
I think,
I
I mean, my point is that I feel like it's extremely small.
right now,
Yeah,
yeah,
It's
I mean,
almost
that, yeah.
impossible.
yeah, almost
Yeah.
impossible. I mean, we're at a point where it's I dare you to get COVID. You're like,
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
a tough one, you
I'm
know.
just gonna lick the MTR railings.
And you still be fine. You still will be fine.
Dude, the hardcore fans would know. A few weeks ago, we had Simon Wilson, who runs the Lawn Underground, and he's the first person in 2 years that I know in person who has had COVID.
Oh.
Like one person in Hong Kong, and I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
And he was on the podcast, and he just
Oh,
casually mentioned
that's true.
that he was part of that gym cluster. Do you know anybody who's actually had
Oh,
COVID?
I don't know anyone personally. Who has
Exactly.
COVID.
I know a bunch of
almost
people
had it.
back home, but
Yeah.
wait, did you almost have it? You say
Yeah, I was
Wait,
I
what?
tested a false positive
what?
Oh.
at the beginning of the year.
I thought this was a statistic anomaly.
No, it's exactly what it was. I was just they were like, "Oh, you're positive," and I went to the hospital, and then they tested me 2 days, and I got negative. And all right, just kidding. We did not. But that was.
Why did you test?
I just went to get tested. I think I had a cough or something, and
Right.
that was when everyone was so scared.
Right,
So
right.
it was just dude,
yeah.
Yeah.
day 1, you're like, oh, it's probably fine. Day 2 is probably fine. Day 3, it's all right, let's go get checked. So,
Yeah. So
And then
did-
you went to the hospital like JK, get home.
yeah, I know, dude. They put
Oh,
me,
man.
they put me in the waiting room for so long.
Mm.
I was like, this is too long
Yeah.
for someone who is okay, you know.
Yeah.
So that was
Man, that must have freaked you out for the period between thinking you got it and the period when they said you don't have it. You're like, what?
Yeah, exactly. And then the crazy thing was when I went to one hospital to get tested, and then you have to go to QE where they
Yeah.
actually put the people.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And when I was there, I just walked around with like everyone else.
Yeah.
And I was just like, dude, what if I had it? You know, like I just do whatever.
Also, if you didn't have it, you might have it from the people who are waiting
exactly.
Yeah.
So
It's one of those golden things that the organizers like, oh, well, if he gets it, then they're all together anyway.
Yeah,
Like, it was,
exactly. Shoot them all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So you're studying statistics,
Yeah.
and how did you get involved with stand-up?
So actually, I moved to New York for like grad school to study more statistics, and then
So wow, you really
I'm sorry.
I love it.
You left the city.
Yeah.
You were like, Hong Kong doesn't do it for me.
Yeah.
The census.
no,
here
you
is
were studying
living-
statistics already in somewhere else, right?
Yeah, I studied
Where were
already
you?
in undergrad, and then I want to study more statistics.
Why did you, like what, a master's degree?
Yeah, master's.
Do you have a master's degree in statistics
Yeah,
right now?
yeah.
You have a
Do you actually have a master's degree?
Yeah, I do. Yes.
Wow, and you're online fighting with people to give you shoes for free.
Yeah.
You
what I
could be a
learned.
university professor.
That's what I learned from my grad school.
It's so crazy. I just want to let everybody know that if you think that you're qualified to be a comedian, you really should rethink your career path. Like, are you doing anything as quirky as this?
Yeah.
Do you have a master's degree in statistics?
Yeah.
Wow.
You have to have certain qualifications.
Exactly. Yeah. We
Which
don't-
is master's degree.
Yeah. If you have an MBA, get out of my
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't work for us. Okay.
From
So.
online school of fucking Phoenix
Yeah,
or whatever.
exactly. Yeah. So let me guess. You were like scrolling through Facebook or something, and like it's one of these ads popped up. So how do you get into
No,
stand up?
it was so I moved to New York, right? So that's like the capital, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like I was always like kind of like the funny kid at school, so it was like something in the back of my mind I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And then I think I went to see a couple of shows in New York, and then
Do you remember the first show you went to see live?
there's this kind of like bar type venue called the Knitting Factory in Brooklyn.
Okay.
And then I think what happened was like, I think Hannibal Buress had like a hand in like building it up.
Oh, nice.
And when he was like not as big, or maybe he was big. I
Yeah.
could be wrong.
What year was that?
2016, 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Recently, yeah.
So, and then I saw that, and then I thought, I was like, oh, like this is cool. And I feel like I probably could do this if I tried.
Yeah.
And I went to see another person. I saw Louis C.K.
Yeah.
at Madison Square Garden, and I was like, dude,
Wow.
this is crazy. Like, this is just the fat guy with a microphone.
Right.
And he's selling out Madison Square Garden. Like, people of like all sorts, all different kinds of people were watching him. So
Yeah.
that kind of inspired me a little. I was like,
I mean,
all right.
some people who watched him didn't enjoy it at the end.
Oh yeah, I mean this was before, but yeah, I mean yeah, this was when it was happening, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. What do you remember? Which hour was it? Like which special?
I don't think it got I don't think they ever released.
Oh,
it,
okay.
But
Oh, okay,
that was
okay.
probably the last time we played Madison Square Garden. Probably.
Right, yeah.
So it was kind of cool that I saw that.
And then you just saw you like, man, I want to try this.
Yeah, and I took a class, and
You took a class?
yeah, I took a class.
So
Like
that
an
your
undergrad?
introduction was not open mic; it was a class first.
I took a class because I was too scared. I didn't know
Yeah.
open mic. I didn't even bother to search like how to be stand-up comedian. I was like,
Right.
I'll just take this class and I'll figure out. From there.
Who was teaching?
There's this guy called Rick Chrome. So he's like one of the kind of veterans at like Comedy Cellar, and
Yeah.
they just let him like teach a class on like weekends and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So actually, my first time doing stand-up was at the Comedy Cellar.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, 'cause it was like
Okay.
it was
This is like starting from the
Yeah.
end.
Yeah,
basically.
exactly.
It was like the graduation show is there. It's like 3 or 4 p.m. Right. It's
Right.
Like
Oh,
you know,
it's one of those,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah,
it's not like hey.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, give it up for Bill Burr. And next up, you know, it's not like
this is the power of photography is that you take a picture of you at the cellar. You're like, yeah, I did a show there.
Yeah, dude.
yeah.
If I take a picture at the cellar with nobody there, I will take the picture and put it up
Yeah.
online. Look
Yeah.
at me, I was at the cellar.
Yeah.
yo,
exactly,
that was my picture for like my first 2 years
course.
doing stand up.
Yeah.
I was like, hey guys, yeah, I do shows at the cellar. But yeah, it was like it kind of I don't know, it almost like peaked then. I was like, yo, like what else do I have to like,
Yeah,
aim
yeah, you
for?
hit it. You were done, right? Yeah.
No
You
one
did
has
a
to
show.
know that this
Yeah.
was for a class, you know.
Yeah. True. True.
So
So then and from there on, did you get other opportunities while you were in New York?
no, I was actually very bad at stand up in New York. So
So you felt like the best way to do it is not your problem, it's
Yeah.
the audience. I got to move it somewhere that they get my
Well,
stuff.
probability speaking.
Yeah. You can't get 100 something countries in the world.
Yeah.
One doesn't, the city doesn't work. I got 50 other ones. Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, no, just by chance I ended up moving to back to like the San Francisco area.
Yeah.
But in New York, I was like doing the open mics, and like that's like, even if you're very good in New York, you still like have to like do the mics and like host your shows and like trade spots and like do all that bullshit. So it's like, and I was like, dude, I'm not even close to getting to that part of the bullshit. I'm still stuck at the.
So even though you have your seller credit, it didn't really.
I was like, yo, look at my profile picture.
Right.
Yeah.
And no one cared.
I bet you anything they're like we've shown like 20.
Yeah. They all know that's what it is.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so you went to San Francisco over there, and then you decided, all right, can I do something over here?
Yeah. So there are a lot more opportunities there.
How come?
It was just it's less competitive.
Right.
Because people move to New York
slopes?
for stand-up.
Yeah.
right?
That's what I was asking. How come? Because New York is supposed to be like the mecca of stand-up, right?
People who headline in other places move there for the next step. You know? So,
Okay.
And then in San Francisco, it was more like it was like a mix between like very like people who do it for a hobby and like people who are like about to take the next step. So
Right.
it's kind of like that level. So I think that was a good place for me to like grow and get on stage.
Yeah. So were you doing like regularly or like maybe once a month, twice a month, something like that?
Pretty regularly. I was probably hitting multiple mics a week, and then like maybe like a show a week or every 2 weeks.
Wow. That is so.
Well, the top club there is the Punchline, right?
Yeah,
Did you get to perform there?
No, I didn't get to that part.
That's okay. You got the seller. Who cares?
That's true.
I mean, like.
All right. So how long did you spend in San Francisco before you moved back here?
About a year and a half, I think, something like that. And then COVID was starting to get kind of crazy there. And then I was just like, me and my family were like, you know what, like, you don't have a job right now anyway, so let's just move you back to Hong Kong.
Yeah, with the probability of you getting a job in San Francisco.
Yeah, exactly.
It's very low right now.
All right, so you came down to Hong Kong initially. I guess, like, did you know about the scene in Hong Kong, the comedy scene over here?
Yeah, I mean, I saw your video like years ago, right? Like the one that has just like millions of views.
Oh, the Cantonese one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The way back, that
so
one.
I didn't know if you're still doing it, so I knew that.
Okay, you knew something's going on.
Yeah, so I knew there was at least, I don't know if that was like a one-time thing, but I knew there was at least that.
Yeah.
I just kind of looked around. I think the Aftermath open mic was the first one I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I was there like the first time, and I think you mentioned that you had just come back from the US and you might have been doing a few shows there or whatever, and everyone's like, look at this new kid. It's always like that, right?
Yeah.
Like someone new walks in and everyone's like, look at this guy.
See what he has.
Yeah, you just looked him up and down. He's like, you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah, people look at it like he doesn't seem famous. He doesn't look like had that confident look. I'm like, whatever. He goes on and we're like,
I don't remember much of your first open mic. Did you do well?
No, it's kind of average. I don't know what to talk about. Because in the US, I was so used to talking about myself as a minority.
Right.
I was so
You had that card.
You had that statistic in your you could use that in your pocket.
We're never letting this go.
I studied poetry, guys.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so I was just like, and then I also didn't know like what base of knowledge to pull from. Because like my knowledge of Hong Kong was like everything from when I was like a kid until like 15. Yeah. It's like between like 2008 or something and 2020 is like
the last 8 years.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah, exactly. The last 12 years, they're like, so is Hong Kong changed?
Yeah.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right. Well, I mean, you gave it a shot. You went on to the Aftermath open mic. And I'm guessing like you enjoyed it at least. We were like, okay, I could keep this up. I keep doing this.
Yeah, I mean, I've already been doing comedy for like maybe like 3 years at that point.
Right.
Yeah.
So you already felt comfortable on stage.
No, because like there are some people that they will come down to Hong Kong. They're like, I do shows overseas. I'm over here for some work and everything. They do open mics. They're like, ugh, this place doesn't seem to have it. So it's like, okay. I
they always like we've had that in Shanghai as well. Like people who are like established or whatever touring, and they come and you're like, your audience don't understand my jokes. I'm like, you're in a different country, you idiot.
That's how it works.
If you can't adapt to the audience of the place you went to, then I think it might be kind of your fault.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's a reason you can still stay where you are. Yeah, if you choose to leave and think about it.
Yeah. So obviously one of the biggest things that like happened for you over the last couple of years is your online presence. And this is basically the main reason you're here because this is fascinating.
None of your open mics.
No. I mean, no one. We have seen your comedy.
Yeah, exactly.
You should go back to open
Yeah.
mic. But anyway,
Yeah.
what I am fascinated by this because it's when you came here, you were not an online sensation in any way.
Yeah.
So,
Couple hundred
do you
followers,
remember the point where you started to realize something is happening?
Uh,
Do you get like all DMs and stuff? And you're like, why are people talking to me so much?
Yeah. Or okay, let me ask you in another way. Was it also a calculated move of you to start building an online persona of some sort?
yeah, I mean that part is true. Yeah, it was calculated. Cause
There you go,
part of me
okay.
knew, like, I mean, because like I remember there are a lot of New York comics that are like amazing, right? Like better than people I see on TV or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's like there's no way to find them online. It's
Yeah.
just like that's it. You know, like if you weren't at the show, like that's it.
Right.
So I knew that was something I had to think about.
So it was from then on, was that 69 Ranch? Is that the name that you went with? Or you tried different profiles and this and that?
oh, the first link. Oh, you guys are gonna laugh at me for this. But my
Dude, your handle now is 69
Yeah,
Ranch.
but before this, it was co.median because median is like a statistics thing. And then,
That's pretty good. I mean, only
I
if
feel
people
like-
know that
Yeah.
you're.
I feel like you could be a great Batman villain. You know, like
Yeah.
this guy is statistics. He'll just
median.
Batman, I calculated that you'll be here at this time. Okay, so
should say
co.median.
dot masters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that co.median. Nice, I like that.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so you started with that one.
I feel like statistically that handle did not work.
Yeah, it did not.
Yeah, the probability of that succeeding.
It was hard to explain to people as well.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, so you decided to start a new pie chart with a
Yeah.
different handle.
and then 69 Ranch is actually there's a lot of like California Asians would know this, but it's like one of the major like Asian / Chinese supermarkets in California is called 99 Ranch. So it's like a play on that. So it's like sometimes people here who have lived in California will recognize it and they're like, oh, like that's what it is. But then everyone else is really confused. They're just like, yo, this guy like really likes like 69 and like salad dressing, you know? It's
That's what I thought from the beginning. I'm like, okay, that's a weird.
I have to be honest, like I didn't think of it much. I just thought you're going with like 69. It's very clear what the reference is, and ranch is just like, as you said, like salad, something
or
like, a
farm,
random
or like
word.
A farm, you know?
Yeah,
or a farm or something like
I can
that.
so imagine one day Jordan has his own production company, and you know, like after TV shows end, they have the
Oh,
production
yeah.
company's logo
Oh,
come
yeah.
out. It's gonna be like this 99 Ranch logo and everything, and like a nail falls off and becomes the 69.
That's so good. That's great.
Yeah, and you got Jordan going, okay,
Cool.
cool.
So okay, did you kind of like look up how to like be an influencer? Like, did you look at other people's accounts? You're like, this works and this doesn't.
Not really, because I don't know. Like, I think sometimes I like I get tricked into being an influencer, but I'm like, yo, I'm a comedian, right?
Right.
And, like, just being in Hong Kong, that's like a byproduct of like, you know, if you have followers, there's like shit like that.
Yeah. But I mean,
Well,
I mean, it's not like you should be complaining. Like people want to come up to you, be like, "Yo, I'll give you some money for this."
Yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
God, I gotta put this in the
Yeah.
bank now.
I mean, it does get tricky, and I'm sure you're aware of it. It's like
Yeah.
if you look like, you know, we all see those accounts. It's just
Yeah.
basically all just
All
Oh yeah,
commercial
oh, yeah,
bullshit.
full on, yeah.
And you're like, I literally had to unfollow people that I know personally because they were
Oh.
so annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah, after a while, I was like, every post was like, "Hey, I'm loving this food over here." I was like,
Yeah, yeah.
"Oh,
I'm like,
come
okay,
on."
stop it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. You took a picture and you left the restaurant. Stop
yeah,
it.
exactly.
Yeah. Okay, but HK Mimi, the other account, so like I'm friends with her, and
Yeah.
even before I moved back to Hong Kong, I would like submit memes to her every now and then
Okay.
that she would post, and some of them would do well. So I think that was also like gave me a bit of confidence. Like if I kind of do this on my own,
Yeah.
I'm also.
Oh, so you're
able to-
already making memes
Yeah.
just like, you know, for fun, basically.
yeah, for fun.
Yeah.
So
And
Okay.
HK Mimi, for people who don't know, is like one of Hong Kong's biggest meme accounts.
yeah,
Yeah.
Right?
yeah,
And so you're friends with her, like you were chatting with her, DMing her, whatever.
yeah,
And you're like, hey, can you post this? And sometimes she does.
yeah.
So she was
does it.
aware of your presence.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you thought that you can just do it by yourself.
Yeah, at a certain point, I was like, dude, I might as well just do this for myself. I mean, like, whenever she posts my stuff, like, there would be some of her followers come to me. So, like, that really helped me kind of build the initial base.
Yeah.
And then it was like also realized like my voice was different from hers, so I wanted.
Yeah,
to
your
have
sense
my
of humor
own.
is quite different as
Yeah,
well.
So I kind of want to have my sort of kind of my direction and control.
So that goes back to my earlier question about like, you know, sometimes in the early stages, like even between us, like if we're doing a show or whatever, and sometimes like people follow us after a show, sometimes like average person like myself, I'm like, oh, 12 people followed me after the show. This is cool.
Yeah.
What was the moment for you when you're like, all right, something's going on here. There's like 300 people who just followed me. This is ridiculous. Do you remember that moment, or what was the thing you posted?
It's kind of like that. It's like after a couple times, I know if I just keep doing this, like, then more will happen. It was like that. Because I guess with stand-up, you wouldn't be like, oh, it was like one joke, and then all of a sudden, like, my life changed. It's like, this one, I improve it, and then I make another one, and then, like, it just kind of builds on each other. So.
Oh, is that how it works? Because for me, it's like,
okay.
I put this one bit, and bam, I feel like,
You went back from 7 years ago that he saw. You're like, done, everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry,
what?
you guys still posting? Like, really? I thought we could close the account right now. Yeah, fair enough. No. I mean, like, I think that it's changed the trend now. Before, it used to very well be like, if there's one video that hits, it's like the CD album, right? You need one song that hits, and everybody buys the CD regardless of the others.
Right.
But nowadays, because there's so much content on the internet, that is so, it's no longer like, oh, that's one, I'm satisfied. It's like people want, I want more.
They want more.
Yeah. And unless you can keep them sustained with that entertainment all the time, because people definitely will follow, not so much because of like, oh, that one is so good, I'm going to follow you and be loyal. But it's more like, this guy's just generating stuff that I seem to enjoy, so why not, right?
Yeah.
I think that's the trick, is the consistency, which a lot of people, including myself, are very guilty of not being able. Like sometimes I would pick up momentum, and then I'm like, for the next like month, nothing.
Oh yeah, full on, man. Like,
of course. But does it feel like pressure? Like sometimes if you wake up, you're in a shitty mood or whatever, and you're like, ugh, I guess I have to post something. Do you feel that way sometimes?
Yeah, I don't now. Yeah, but when I was like really trying to grow it, I'd be like, yo, I just have to like fart something out, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
And then like sometimes just in that 5 seconds, just something pops up, and that might be my best idea.
Right.
You know? But so sometimes I would like force myself like that.
Yeah. But I guess that's like even with stand-up, right? Like when you know you have a show, you have to somehow squeeze another 5 minutes out.
Yeah.
Right? And that's the goal, is that if you don't have the pressure, you're not going to somehow squeeze 5 minutes. And even if it may not be like the best 5 you've ever done, you're like, hey, at least I have better than a not funny 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that as well. But okay, so coming back to this then, the comparison of the online world, the kind of comedy you do online versus the comedy you do in person. Because if you've ever seen Jordan, you will see that his persona on stage is a more laid back, relaxed, like, okay, I'm here, I'm doing my thing, you like it, you don't like it, not my problem. You know, and then like people are dying laughing, he's like, okay, I guess you like that one. Right? So it's a very like relaxed manner.
Yeah.
Is that actually the Jordan that in general, that's how you are as a person, or is that just the way you cope on stage?
I mean, I think it's pretty true to who I am.
Okay.
But I think it lets me be like, it's like kind of lazy too, because it's like if I'm like this on stage and I mess up, it's like easier to like.
You just leave the stage, like, continue.
It's like, oh, my bad. Oh, I messed that joke up, you know. But it's like if something's like very performed and you slip up, it looks. I mean, in my opinion, I'm like, yo, like it's like very clear that you like messed up, and then you feel embarrassed, like, oh shoot, you know. But like for me, I get more kind of wiggle room. I feel like.
So you kind of like built a wall of some sort with that persona of you, like things bounce off you if they don't work. Okay, that's actually really smart.
So. I mean, because the thing is that what you'll find is a lot of comedians, you got different styles. You got the ones who are high energy and like the audience is like trying to keep up with the energy. You got the one that is like low energy or basically like more laid back like yourself. And it's the audience is not trying to keep up or not, but they're like having their own good time. And you're just waiting for them to be done with having fun. You're like, can I continue now? Like I have other stuff to say. And was there other comedians that inspired you? Like, hey, that could work as well. Or was this just always like, that's all I can do, so I guess this is it?
I'd say delivery wise, probably like Stephen Wright. Maybe not content, but like I think
cadence.
Voice, I copy other people, but yeah. And then like Gerard Carmichael as well.
Okay.
He has like a very kind of like deep, kind of stoner-ish vibe. So I think those people, I'm like, oh, like this is a voice that you can get away with in comedy. Because
Okay,
people are
okay.
always surprised when I tell them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Because they always imagine like Chris Rock or some shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then you're like, what? You do comedy? Like that's always their
Yeah, like with
reaction.
that attitude, I could never imagine.
Yeah.
people- yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I'm
But
just
have you
like-
ever had moments where you doubt it, where you're like, maybe I should try, or maybe I should put more energy? Some, have you ever had those? Because usually finding your
Yeah.
voice is one of those pathways that's really hard
Yeah.
for comedians, and
Right.
a lot will try different personalities,
Yeah.
personas, different styles, different senses of humor.
Mm-hmm.
You've always got the comedian who, let's say, do one way, and like some other comic says, "Hey, try this." They're like, "Okay," and they go the other way,
Yeah.
and they're just like searching all the time. Was this
Yeah.
one thing that you just felt like, no, I think this is it? Like, did it just pop and happen to you from day one?
I think this is my original one. When I first started, I was like, this is the voice I should try.
Yeah.
But man, obviously I refined it and got better. But I think maybe like year 1 or 2-ish, if you look at my old clips, you might see me like being more animated or like
Oh, really? I
Doing
want to see
That's
that.
how you see it. So where can people see the older clips other than like,
it's in my laptop away from where
so
I
we
might
need to-
drop one for fun.
so for this one
Yeah.
we get a hack into your laptop.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like,
Yeah, I think when we post that episode, maybe you can give me like a small clip or something.
Yeah.
Uh,
Of Jordan animated.
yeah, Jordan
There's
animated.
also early on, my first set, I did a bit where I did like a southern accent impression.
Wow.
That was,
Oh, can you just do
oh
like
my
the
God.
bit of like the accent itself?
Yeah,
like
just
what
do-
did it sound like?
It's like, hey y'all. I don't know. I can't do it. But it was
Yeah.
basically like the bit was like, oh, I'm from the south of China, and it was like and I would project like kind of
Right, right.
stupid stereotypical Chinese things, but
Yeah.
on like a southern
Accent.
accent.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And I
That's
thought-
funny.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
Yes. I guess that works in the US very well.
Yeah,
Because the
yeah.
misdirection
like that
is
type of shit. Right?
Yeah, yeah.
You did it over here. People were like, we are in the South of
Well,
China.
yeah, we're all from the south of
Yeah,
China.
exactly.
In fact, even if you're a foreigner
Yeah.
who comes from Australia, you're from
Yeah.
the south of
Yeah,
China.
Exactly. Yeah, pretty much everyone in the north of China were like, yeah, they can't get in. They can't come here.
Oh, but to answer the question, it was like, I would have other comedians tell me like, "Yo, you gotta have energy, man. You gotta go up there and kill it," And then it's like, after I realized I was better than the people that were giving me that type of
Right.
advice,
Yeah.
I was like, "Hey, all right, I will figure this out on my own." So,
Yeah. That's another pro tip as well. If a comedian or anybody comes up to you and gives you advice and you watch their set, you're like, they suck.
yeah.
And maybe not take their advice. That is
Yeah.
good criteria as
Yeah,
well.
we have a couple of people like this.
Oh, definitely.
I
A
don't
couple
think of their
people like-
names, but
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Uh,
Advice is easy to dish out.
I think
man.
everyone who listens to the podcast already knows by now. They have been mentioned multiple times in one episode.
exactly.
So going back to the online presence,
yeah.
do you feel that when was the first time you got approached by something commercial, like something of sort of, hey, can you do this and we'll give you money or blah blah?
I get a lot of like, hey, like post this we give this to you. Can you post it for free?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I mean,
yeah.
have you had ones where you're like, oh, what a coincidence. I actually wanted these.
Right.
And now they're giving them for free. So, okay, screw it. I'll post it, whatever.
Not yet. Not yet. I wish. Yeah. If
So, what would be the item that you'd be like, I'll post that for free if you can give it to me for free? Like a car?
I actually want sneakers, but not from that brand.
Oh yeah, we'll get into that in a second
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's a
like-
story I want to hear from you as well.
Yeah.
But before that, like, do you remember the first time, or at least how many followers count did you start getting approached by like people to like ask you to post stuff for them in exchange for money or whatever?
Probably like around 5,000 ish,
Mm.
and then at that point it was more like they were also kind of smallish.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
a
Cross promotion kind of
like
thing.
Yeah.
cross promotion and like we like you, whatever.
Mm.
But sometimes it was just like I didn't really see the fit, Like
Mm.
sometimes you'll just want to do a promotion or collab for the sake of it,
Mm.
even though it's not even an actual fit.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean,
do you feel? Sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm saying if it's something that you're already interested in and they come up to you, like, all right, this seems fun. Let's just do that.
I
You
would-
have those.
Yeah, I would. Not yet. But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean, it's like if there's something that I'm interested in and I'm like vibe with the person, like I do it for free.
Yeah.
I actually do have a couple people we like have talked and like kind of agreed on paper,
Yeah.
Mm.
but we just been too lazy to actually do
Make
it.
something
But,
happen.
But
Yeah.
there's definitely like 2 or 3 people that
Yeah.
we've kind of like co-signed off that we can work together.
Ah,
so.
okay.
So-
Yeah, because like my weak spot, it used to be like food. If like if you give me the food items, I'm like, okay, I don't mind posting because it's a meal. I can
Yeah.
something I enjoy. But now I'm like, wait a second, so how much is this food? Just $200? And I'm posting
Yeah.
hey, no.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to add cash
exactly.
for that.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, my weak spot is really like if it's got anything to do with young kids learning Cantonese in Hong Kong, I'm just like, sure, I'll put a post there. I don't really mind.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but this is also pretty much your domain.
In a way, but also when they're, oh, but we have a budget. I'm like, no, don't. It's okay. You give it to the kids. You know, I'm not trying to be all like, oh, yeah, help the
Yeah.
kids and stuff. So, but then I'm sure you'll have a few that will come up to you and they'll make it seem like, oh yeah, you know, we love your stuff. You know, we want to give you some free stuff.
Yeah.
And then you're like, sure, I love that. And then after they sort out that stuff, like, oh, by the way, when is the post coming out? You're like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
You never
Yeah.
mentioned the post.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
It's a
And
gift
then-
is a gift, you know? Like,
Yeah. Because you'll get a lot, and you every now and then you get a lot of like these fake accounts as well.
Right.
Will message you saying,
yeah.
"Oh, we will definitely want to work with you. We are an agency, and we
Mm.
basically work with all these different brands, so we can collaborate. But we need you to be exclusive with us."
Yeah.
and it's just like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like an account that we just created like 15
Yeah.
minutes ago.
Exactly,
And has
yeah,
like
you-
2 followers.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And I'm one of them. It's like, wait a second, why did I follow you? Why the hell did I follow you already? Okay, so this is a period right now in your whole brand, the 69 Ranch brand, basically where people know of you, they know you enough, where they're like, okay, this guy's an influencer, let's try to collaborate with him. And then what about yourself? You as a brand, is that your objective to be a comedian / influencer?
Not really. Just I just want to be a comedian, but yeah, like I said earlier, like being an influencer is just a byproduct of like having any sort of following in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
So I think after the
But it's part of the game.
yeah, I
It's
mean that's
fine.
like a major source of income.
Yeah,
too, if
you
you can
need
get
that.
to a certain point.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna ask like when did you start feeling comfortable with asking for money in exchange for postings or stories or whatever?
Oh, that's a good question. Probably like, yeah. Also around, I think the first time I was offered money, I was like, okay, then I can
see,
ask
yeah.
other people for money. Right?
yeah. So there is actually money in these things, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
full on, yeah.
Because there was definitely a time where like you're willing to do it for free. Like if
Yeah.
the sneaker thing happened like 6 months ago, I'd be like, yo, give me those sneakers now. You know? Like,
Yeah.
don't
So
have to remind
I
you
wanna
that,
because
yeah.
you obviously mentioned it on stage and the last show, and that was the whole exchange was kind of hilarious.
Yeah.
So can you walk us through? I think you're kind of familiar with
yeah,
what
I know
happened,
what he's talking about,
but I want to
yeah.
hear from you because you also obviously posted the whole thing exchange on your stories. You were very public about it.
Yeah.
So can you tell us your side of it?
All right. So someone reached out to me and they're like, "Hey, we'd like to send you some shoes, and we'd also like to invite you to an event. Give me your WhatsApp." I was like, "All right." And then I was like, "Hey, it's me." And then they're just like, "Oh, like we'll send you your shoes. We'd like to send you some shoes for you to wear at your next show. Can you please wear at your next show?" And I think to me that's already like
That's good enough. Yeah, I'm wearing it
that's
at
the
show.
value I'm giving to you.
Yeah, I'm wearing it
Yeah.
at the show.
And it's like
yeah.
I'm probably might repost the story. Like I know, like I'm not like an ass. You know, like I know like common sense. Like okay, they also expect something. I'm down to repost the story.
Yeah.
Sure.
And then they're like, "Oh, can you also make an Instagram post?" This was after I was like, "Oh yeah, cool." And then they just slipped it in. Can you make an Instagram post? I'm like, "Yeah, that'll cost money." And then he was like, "What's the quote?" I gave him a number, which I think, you know, I knew this company is cheap as fuck. I knew everyone that has their shoes just has them for free and they eat it up. But I also know they for sure have a marketing budget, right? And it's like they also reached out to me specifically asking me to do it at a show.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a generic DM.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Like that's different. But you reached out to me specifically with that specific demand. So like I should have like a different quote. You shouldn't measure me to someone else. But she was like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, all right, so can I still get the shoes, you know?
Yeah.
And it was like, it'd be nice if you could like make an Instagram post. And I was like, yeah, it'd be nice if you could pay me, you know? And then they were like, yeah, to be honest, like you're charging too high based on your like engagement and your followers, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, all right, that was a little unnecessary. But, you know,
Yeah.
Also, you're ugly.
yeah.
So basically what she's saying is that we actually do have the budget,
Yeah.
but we don't want to give it to you.
Yeah, that's right.
Damn, that's harsh.
Also, your comedy sucks.
Yeah.
And they said, "Oh, please consider supporting like small business and small local businesses." And
Oh,
I'm just
man.
like, "All right,
man.
then what am I? You
Yeah,
know,
I'm a
like,
small
yeah.
little business
what
too.
the fuck am I? You
Yeah.
know?" So,
Yeah, Helen Keller. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
but that's very typical in Hong Kong, which
Yeah.
is sad. But
Yeah.
but like if it was like fucking like Mirror or some shit, they'd be like,
Yeah.
yo, like it's fucking
Yeah,
million.
how much-
Here's
what do
all
you
of
need?
the
Yeah.
money.
How many?
Exactly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
my check doesn't have that much space for the zeros. Yeah.
Like squeeze a couple $1,000 for someone else is like, no, what? You
Yeah.
know, so
That's
So
always
and
the
then
case.
okay, so what happened after that?
and then I asked them, all right, so what is a fair price? And then they didn't respond to me.
Yeah.
And which fine. It was kind of aggressive the way I responded very fast.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So I was like, what is a fair price? And
Right.
then that was the end of the exchange. And then I put them on blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also asked, I was like, am I being too cocky? And
Yeah.
then like 40% of my followers said yes.
Yeah, I was one of them.
Yeah, that was like, fuck you. You don't deserve me, you know. But
And then what did you do at the show?
and then at the show, I took my shoes off and I just performed shoeless both shows last night.
Yeah. The best part is like the poor shoes that he actually paid for.
Yeah.
That he should be allowed to wear for his own uses.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, I won't even wear that.
Right.
This is how you ruin it for everyone.
Yeah,
shoe
I mean, to
company.
be fair, you did mention the story on stage
Yeah.
and why you're shoeless in protest
Yeah.
of these
Yeah,
people.
but it's not those shoes. You know, it's like you like trying to protest against McDonald's. You're like, I will starve myself, but you have vegetables at home. I will not eat that. I will not even eat that.
Oh man.
So,
Oh my God.
did it for out of pettiness mostly, but you know. Yeah.
Lesson learned for all the companies that want to contact you is like, all right, before you contact him and you want to post, make sure you have some sort of budget.
Yeah.
And if he gives you a quote, just simply say that, yeah, we think you're worth this. And he might be like, oh, so that's what you think I'm worth? Okay.
Yeah.
So come back with the counter offer as well.
What's the so especially with your stories, what do you think? Do you have some sort of a plan of what you feel like this is a thing I want to post, like this today or this week? It's all gonna be me trying out bits or whatever, or are you just going completely random?
No, it's pretty random. Because I know it makes sense to like do stuff consistently, but it's also like some things people might get bored, you know. So and I also like if you get too big at one thing, everyone just expects that from you all the time.
Right.
So like
Because that's a bad problem,
I
Jordan.
know. So
God forbid you're good at one thing. They're like, we want more of the good stuff. You're like,
I purposely just make life interesting for myself.
No,
I
it's fair
guess.
enough. I mean, it's like a buffet, right? You don't want that one dish that just kills it. I was like, why
Yeah.
no one eating the other stuff?
Yeah, and you also don't want to be known for the guy who does only the accents or only the
Yeah.
impressions
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
You also got picked up by a big agency, I guess, whatever they
all
call,
right, sure.
to make memes.
Oh yeah.
So that can you tell us a little bit about that? I mean, I also didn't mention the name
yeah,
on
no.
purpose, so it's up to
Yeah,
you
that's
to mention
fine.
it.
Mostly just that's like I got like a full-time position there, so that's given me a lot more kind of position to be like cocky to brands.
Oh, yeah. 'Cause, like,
Because you actually have their
'Cause,
name as your.
no, it's like I get a salary from them, so
Right,
I'm like,
right.
okay, but like extra $1,000 isn't gonna like
yeah, change
Yeah.
make
too
or
much,
break
yeah.
my month. But before I'd be like, okay, well I kind of need this,
Yeah,
made, you know.
I'll wear those shoes.
So you have an email address at whatever.com.
Yeah.
So it's like you can talk to brands from a
Yeah.
more strong position.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
what do you do? Like, what is your job exactly?
Yeah.
At that
Just a meme
place.
generator?
Overall content that includes it's like amusing content. It's like content that's funny,
Right.
and that includes memes. It includes like maybe funny videos or like interesting like facts or like interesting stories, like funny like would you rather's, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's just a variety of stuff.
So
But-
you basically are doing what a lot of kids waste their time doing, but you get paid for
I
it.
get paid for it.
Man, this is like such a great life lesson. I would love for you to go to schools and on like career day talks.
That's so funny.
It would blow parents' minds. They're like, what is he saying?
I know.
Is he encouraging this? How the hell?
You know what you can do?
Like following up to the statistics degree. Oh,
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And then-
exactly. Yeah, exactly.
What you can do is basically give them this episode about
Yeah,
how
exactly,
you
yeah.
started with master's degree in
Yes,
statistics.
and
You're like,
now-
see, don't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I could have been spending that time making memes up and
Yeah, yeah.
everything. I'd have way more followers by now.
Yeah. Talk about, whatever chicken wings
Yeah,
on your
exactly.
Instagram.
Exactly.
And then eventually,
Yeah.
people will pay you money
Yeah, to do
to
that.
talk about chicken wings.
Man, that is like such a good life lesson. As like, even if you're wasting time, be like the best at it.
Yeah.
If you're scrolling through Facebook, scroll like real with efficiency and productivity, and like find all the best posts and share those. That's what you have to. That's basically like what you pretty much do, right? You basically digest all the funny, the cool stuff that's happening on the internet. You put it all together, and like boom, you've got the Jordan version of it.
So at the meme, I think without mentioning name, I think people would know that this is pretty much the biggest meme website in the world.
Look,
I would say
we can play off of it instead of using the number 9. We can put the number 6 in front of it. Maybe people won't know what it is.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Awesome. Yeah.
But my question is that like you have a boss, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Like you have someone who like decides if you're good enough or not.
Yeah.
Do they tell you like, yo, man, your memes are shit, like, or yeah, like you're not posting enough or whatever?
It's
Like you don't get enough likes, that like you're fired.
Yeah, exactly. Like who decides?
Sometimes it's actually kind of interesting because like sometimes I'll submit something that's just a draft,
Yeah,
just to like show them like, hey, I've done
I'm
something.
working. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they post it, and I'm like, yo, that's a draft, and I feel like it's almost like, I don't know.
It's like your draft is good enough?
Maybe they feel awkward telling me something is not funny enough.
So they're like, I guess we post it right now.
Sometimes I'm like, yo, you guys can tell me if you don't. Yeah, so usually it gets rejected if they're like, oh, this is too vulgar or something. Or
Right.
not vulgar, but like this doesn't match our what the
the
kind of
company
theme
style.
we
Yeah,
want
yeah,
to do. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Do they give you specific topics sometimes? Like, hey, yo, this is like tomb sweeping, so you make jokes about tomb sweeping or whatever?
A bit of both. Sometimes it's like, yo, like we're doing this like Olympics or something, or whatever.
Wow.
All right, so a couple of things. Number one, Patreon.
Yeah.
So Patreon, we have had a new subscriber this week. Patreon, Asmita Mishra. She just joined us at the Tycoon, which is our highest category actually. So thank you so much, Asmita. On Patreon, I want to talk to you a bit about the downside of what you're doing, basically the pressure of it all, the uninvited or like the unwelcome sometimes either advances or messages or whatever, and people like not necessarily dealing with the fame because it's such a douchey thing to say, but it's like there must be a lot of negative sides to having this much attention in such a short period of time, because you're also not very old, like you're quite a young guy. So I want to talk to you about that, but that's going to be on the Patreon. And for everyone who's listening, please join our Patreon. $5 a month. We have been putting awesome content up there, bonus content every week. And actually, this is something I would like to announce. In the next couple of weeks, I'm partnering up with ShopStream. We're doing a couple of shows with them, which is a new service, like a streaming platform. Yeah. And we're doing a few bonus episodes with them that are only going to be exclusive on Patreon.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a few short episodes that are going to go up in the next few weeks. So consider joining the Patreon. For $5 a month, you get access to all of this content. Jordan, thank you so much for coming on, man. Clearly, the last thing I would say is like, how do people find you online?
You can find me on